What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Hope everybody's having a great day or night whenever you're watching this. We are in the middle of the NBA All-Star break, and the news cycles are a little slow, but I've been thinking in my head, as a Lakers fan, I want to talk about a particular player on the Lakers and where he ranks at what he's doing. The guy I want to talk about is Austin Reaves, and I want to know, in the comments and in general, where do you guys think Austin Reaves ranks in the NBA currently as a third option? All the third options that we can scour together, where do you think he ranks amongst that bunch in terms of, is he better than these guys? And I think, because I started looking at this, there's maybe like three guys that I think are in the same stratosphere as him in terms of being the third option. Certain guys could be excellent number ones, solid number twos, and trash number threes, because they just don't have the ball enough and they just can't find a rhythm and they can't figure it out. They can't figure out how to play off of others. But you get a certain few guys that excel as a third option, and like they make the most out of that opportunity. That's what I want to talk about, because I don't know if there's a guy better than Reaves at this season, at least particularly, because on the season he's averaging 19 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. The more important stat to kind of pay attention to with him is the last 28 games. That's since the beginning of December, where he's averaging like 21 points, 7 assists, and like 5 rebounds on really good efficiency. I think like 45, 46% from the field, probably about 36, 37 from three. That's the stuff right there, where there's not that many third options that are giving you 20 plus, right? And doing it consistently and efficiently, and keeping a good usage rate but not dominating the ball like crazy, not turning it over. I'm going to give you 3 names that I think are in the same conversation as Austin Reaves. And I want us, as a group, to rank this set of 4 names, because we're counting Reaves. I think Boston's Derrick White is a super third option. I think he plays that role so damn good. I think Oklahoma City's third option is Chet Holmgren right now. I think their hierarchy is SGA, J-Dub, and then Chet. And obviously, it could be any given night for a different guy in OKC, because that team is freaking loaded. But I think Chet's probably the easy third option most nights. And this is particularly talking offensively, because we know what he can do defensively. Same with Derrick White. And another name I want to talk about, Mikal Bridges on the New York Knicks. Those 3 guys, I think, are the cream of the crop outside of Austin Reaves at third options in the NBA. And I think being able to be elite in that role is so underrated, because that it just takes the pressure off your top 2 guys. The dudes who aren't ready to be a third option or just don't have the skill to do it or the talent to do it can fall in line and, kind of find their role in the midst of it all. They don't have to be this guy that's relied on. And you see it to where there are certain teams that have, like, let's look at the Sixers right now. Then their third option, in my opinion, is probably Paul George. He's struggling with injuries, and he's had a brutal year, right? But he's also never been a third option. Like, there's certain things, certain guys struggle to fit into roles. And what I think it's just so valuable, because you look at Derrick White, he gives you like 16 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and he plays insanely good defense, takes a ton of charges, and is going to shoot it at like 38% from 3, and is going to, he's going to light it up from out there. Derrick White, when that game is a 2 or 3 point difference, hits 2 threes, and now it's an 8 point difference. And he's a game breaker for Boston, and I want to give him credit for that. So I think he's definitely in this conversation. Chet Holmgren hasn't played a lot this season, but we know how good he can be, and I think he's one of those seamless fits into being a third option, because he can score a little bit, he can rebound, he protects the rim at an elite level. There's not much he can't do out there, so fitting in is easy for him. And then I think the thing for them is just figuring out how to have him and Hartenstein play together, but we just haven't seen a ton of time on that. But Chet's one of those guys I think I'm just super confident in, and maybe it's premature to have him in this conversation, but I think it's going to be pretty seamless for him. And then Mikal Bridges, he's going to give you 18 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and we know that he's going to be able to be on the floor every single night and is going to play elite defense all the length. We know he's been doing that for like every year of his career at this point, right? He's one of those guys though where he was a number 1 option in Brooklyn, and it was good. it wasn't like number one option on a playoff team. And then he was a number two option. He's never really been a number two option because Phoenix, he was the 3 or 4 option behind Booker, Paul, and Ayton. But ultimately, he's come into this third option role behind Brunson and Cat, in my opinion. And he's done very well. He's done a solid job fitting into it. His shot looked really screwed at the beginning of the season. It was like worrisome, but he's figured it out since then and has kind of almost reverted back to his norm. So what I'm asking you guys is, if you have a different name in this conversation, let me know in the comments who you have as, being either better than these guys or in the same mold, because I think this is a great debate to talk about. My honest ranking of this, in terms of just overall skill and impact, I think impact's the best way to measure it. I think impact, Chet is the guy that if he comes back and does everything that we've seen him be able to do before, Chet's the guy that probably can put the most impact on a basketball court because of what he can do: rebounding, floor spacing, protecting the rim, creating his own shot. He can do just a little bit more because of that rim protection and the size than all these other guys. So I think he's got a chance to be the number one. I think Reaves is probably the number 2 in terms of best third options in the NBA, because there's not that many guys that can score the way he can. He put up 45 a few games ago. He can create for others. He doesn't turn the ball over very much at all. He's very good at getting to the free throw line, and he's efficient when he gets there, like 86, 87%. So I'm confident when I see LeBron go to the bench and Reaves is going to run the unit. I'm like, okay, like we can stomach this for 4, 5, 6 minutes at a time here while the rest of the team kind of puts itself together. He does a great job at what his role is, and there's a very great argument he is the best third option. I think he's right there, but I think Chet, because of that rim protection, it puts him at a different level. I think Derrick White's probably the third best third option in the NBA, in my opinion, and it's just because of what we know he can do. He can space the floor. He can kind of play as the main pick and roll ball handler. He can create for others a little bit. He can drive to the rim. He rebounds. He does a little bit of everything at a really damn good level. So I think that makes him a little more. I think he's a better defender than Reaves is. But that being said, he's playing with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. He fits in perfectly with those guys, and he's maximized his role. After coming from San Antonio, he's turned into I would say he's one of those guys that's like almost an all-star level guy. He's basically he's a home run in his role, is what he is. And I think that's really, you could say that for all of these guys, to be completely honest. But, giving White some credit here. Mikal Bridges is one of those guys where I think he's figuring this out as the season goes, and he's getting better at it. And then you're starting to see the Knicks start to turn the corner, and they're getting more out of each guy, and I think the Knicks look really fierce right now. Bridges is another guy that definitely belongs in this conversation. I think he's probably the 4th best third option in the NBA right now. And so, yeah, that would be my list. That would be how I would rank it. I would rank it with Chet as the best third option, Austin Reaves as the 2nd best third option, Derrick White as the 3rd best third option, and Mikal Bridges as the 4th best third option. And, on any given night, some of these teams can have different guys do it, that's for sure, but these are the guys that are most consistently going to be playing that role and in that fiddle, and I think they all do an excellent job at it. And I want to know who you guys like the most in this role, because it's you can talk about being the best player on a championship team all day long, and there's maybe 6 or 7 guys that can be that, but how many guys can be elite as a third option and not take away from the number 1 and number 2 and add to them? That list is very short as well. Anyway, let me know in the comments. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe if you like this kind of content. Please like the video. Appreciate you for watching. Shout out Austin Reaves. Shout out Chet Holmgren, finally back healthy. Shout out to Derrick White. You've been awesome the last few years. And Mikal Bridges looks really damn good as well. It's the cream of the crop for this role, in my opinion. But thanks for watching. I'm done. Peace.